I have been really thinking about Michael and I's budget. And so I thought that I would do a little experiment. I sat down here and I calculated up our spending. I calculated up what's coming in, what's going out, and I looked at the budget that I had set a long time ago plus all of our bills, and I just kind of put that all in place to see what we should be saving, like I said, should be saving every month. So yeah, I looked at that and I realized that we're probably not saving as much as we could be, especially in the area of groceries. So I came up with this idea to try to get our grocery bill down as far as I thought we could reasonably and still live and eat food that we enjoy and have plenty of snacks and that kind of stuff. So I came up with this meal plan and I thought I would share it with you and tell you how I came to all the totals that I got. Let me start by saying that all of these totals that I got, I went to Walmart, the Walmart app, and I went to my local store. And for the few things that I get at Walmart, I got those prices from that app store. And that includes like our vegan cheese, our vegan butter, and seems like there was, and our cereal that we get for the kids. So those are the things we are getting from Walmart, and that's where I got those totals from. So for each location, prices are going to vary, and you can find your local prices on your Walmart app and go to at my store. The other way that I found the prices that I got from Aldi's or for my Aldi's, and I have not checked these prices for my location, but I went to this website and I'll post it up here. And it's basically a list, and the person updates it over time. And it's just, you can type in the food, and then it pops up and it has like the price, and then it has the price per unit, which is really cool, especially if you're trying to, if you know specifically, like I'm only going to use this much out of this product. You can actually see like by ounce how much that ounce would cost you. So I'm going to just throw up the meals that I came up with that are my cheap meals and show you the total for each meal as I have it written. So I did this kind of backwards. I started with my dinners and then I went to breakfast, or backward. It was just kind of a jumbled mess. It wasn't really backwards, it was just jumbled up. So for you, and just so that it's kind of in order of how a day would go, I'll start with the breakfast and then move our way to dinner. This is for a 7-day week for a family of 5. This is kind of, I went off of the amount of food we eat, and I know that right now our portion sizes are huge, and so I accounted for that. I have 3 growing kids, 2 of which are boys, and they eat a ton of food, so I accounted for that. So it's a family of 5 with 3 kids eating quite a bit. So let's talk about breakfast. So for breakfast, I was going to allow 3 different things. I was going to allow oatmeal, cereal, and biscuits and gravy. So biscuits and gravy is something we typically have on a Saturday morning as a family. Throughout the week, my husband and my eldest son do not eat breakfast. They intermittent fast, but then on the weekends, they allow themselves to have breakfast. So we always have a big breakfast on Saturdays, and that's why we're going to have biscuits and gravy. And so I used those websites that I talked about at the beginning of this video to get the totals for all the things we need, and I'll run through the things and throw up on the screen the prices and that kind of thing. So let's talk about the oatmeal first. For the oatmeal, obviously we need oats, but then we put peanut butter, banana, apple, and flax seeds usually in with our oats. We don't always put both banana and apple in there, but we can mix it up that way and it gives us a variety. So then we move on to our cereal. The kids eat a special cereal from Walmart. It's a healthier version, and it has like all natural dyes and that kind of thing. It's like no preservatives, that kind of thing. So they eat that special cereal. And then with that, they also have almond milk because my daughter's lactose intolerant. So yeah, that, and then we go to our biscuits and gravy that we make. And for the biscuits and gravy, we need obviously the biscuits, and then we need coconut flakes because we make our own gravy out of coconut flakes. We make like a coconut milk, and then we use a vegan butter so that my daughter can eat it. Now, the reason that I am not putting the butter, the vegan butter, on with the biscuits and gravy, because we will use a whole stick of butter, but the reason I'm not putting it here is because in some of my other recipes called for butter as well. And so we'll buy a box of butter for that, but then we can also carry that butter over into our biscuits and gravy. So that's why I didn't put that total with the breakfast, but it will be something that we use with breakfast. But we will already have used that cost up in another category. And so for breakfast, the total came to, for 2 weeks, came to $23.93. So I figured that amount of food will get us through 2 weeks. So if you divide that, the $23.93, by 2 for the 2 weeks that I believe it will cost or last us, then you will get a total of $11.97. So for breakfast, our grand total is $11.97. So now let's move on to our lunches, or what I think that we would eat for lunch and for snacks. So I kind of bundled lunch with snacks because my husband, he comes and eats lunch here at the house with us on his lunch break, but also the kids and I eat here, but our son is at school. Our eldest son is at school. So we usually don't eat a huge lunch, and it's usually leftovers from the dinner or what have you. So I did add leftovers, veggies and fruits for our snacks and our lunches, but I also went ahead and put tofu, and we get that from Walmart, and then we got tortillas to be able to make a tofu scramble. And then I also added in bananas. I added bananas here as well as in breakfast because we eat a lot of bananas. My husband makes smoothies and that kind of thing. And I didn't actually add in our frozen fruit, which I probably should, but we have quite a bit stored up right now, so I really don't need to buy it. But I'll go ahead and throw up some frozen fruit prices here. That way you guys can get an idea of the extra cost it would cost me on top of the total at the end. For our snack and lunches, it's going to be a grand total for 1 week, 7-day week, would be $14.02. Now we are at the point where I actually started, which was dinner, and I will be a little bit more thorough with the dinner portion because I think that dinner is where most of our money goes because we're all coming together. We typically are really rushed, so I look for convenience foods, but I want to be healthy. I want to try to do my best, making sure I'm making healthy foods for my family that are not only convenient but are cheap, so that we can save as much money as possible. The first meal that I know is extremely cheap, and we could do adjectives into it for relatively cheap, was spaghetti. Now spaghetti, you got your noodles and you got your sauce, and that can give you a really good meal just by itself. You can add things in like some sauteed mushrooms, that kind of thing, for relatively cheap. I chose not to on purpose because I was trying to keep the cost down low. And so that meal is going to be a $3.09 meal if you just do the noodles and the sauce. All right, so another meal that is really important around our house is salads. We love salads, so I had to make sure I included salads into our meal plan. And so for a salad, if you get the spring mix from Aldi's and that kind of thing, so we would have the spring mix, which is a huge box of different kinds of grains all mixed together. Then you have black beans, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and we like to put banana peppers, and I love avocados. I usually don't buy avocados unless they're on sale, but I went ahead and put a reasonable price for avocados around our area when they're not on sale, just in case I want an avocado and they're not on sale. And so that total was, and that would make 2 meals for our family at least. And we probably still have leftover vegetables to be able to put with other meals, which is a huge plus. So with that would be $13.54 for 2 weeks. And if you divide that by 2, then it would be $6.77. The next food item or meal would be my absolute favorite thing, which is my favorite food, tacos. So for tacos, you're going to need tortillas, refried beans, which we would make homemade from dried beans because it's even cheaper. And then you're going to need tomatoes, like the little grape tomatoes. And we eat vegan cheese, so I went ahead and put that on there. And that grand total would be $11 for that meal. Me and my husband have been talking about wanting grilled cheese with tomato soup because it's really good and we haven't had it in a really long time. So this would be our splurge meal because it is a very expensive meal. And I figure we need the luxury of having at least one meal we feel like is special. And so that would be this meal. And this meal would cost us, with the vegan cheese, the bread, the crushed tomatoes, and the tomato paste. And that's without any seasonings. I would just season it with the seasonings I have here at home. And I think this meal might actually get us 2 meals out of it, so we could split it up between 2 weeks, but I wasn't 100% sure if we'd be able to. So I went ahead and just did it for, I went ahead and just did it for 1 week. Just because I don't know how far it will stretch with our kids and stuff. Sometimes they go back for seconds and things don't last as long as I think they should. So I went ahead and did it for 1 week, and that would be a total of $13.96. All right, moving on to our 6th meal that I had planned. That would be stir fry. And for a stir fry, you need vegetables, which we get this huge bag of a vegetable melody at Walmart for $5.98, and it's really cheap. And you can use that for a lot of different things, but stir fries are a great thing because you can change up the flavor just by changing the sauce. And so it can be like you're eating something totally different, but you're really just having stir fry again. So we get the vegetable melody, rice obviously, and the sauce needed, and that total for that meal would be $9.62. All right, and now we're at our last meal, our 7th meal, which really we can make more meals, like I said, out of a lot of these. But our 7th meal is going to be baked potatoes with mayonnaise on top and sides. And so for that, we would get a 10-pound bag of potatoes, which would actually last us for 2 meals. So this could potentially be a meal or a cost that could be double or be split in half. My brain's not wanting to work. Could be split in half. So we would get that 10-pound bag of potatoes. We would get our vegan mayonnaise, which I'm not 100% sure on the cost. This wasn't on the Walmart website, but we do get it from Walmart. And it is relatively expensive. So I went ahead and put that at $5, hoping it's not more than that, but I put $5 for that cost. And then green beans, and I get the frozen green beans from Aldi's, the fine cut ones, and I was going to get 4 of those. Garlic to be able to season those green beans, and then the vegan butter for those green beans as well. And the total for this meal would be $20.66. And if we cut that in half, if it made 2 meals, which I hope it would be $10.33. I know that was a lot to take in, so I'm going to just do a quick overview of what each meal would cost us for 1 week. For breakfast, our total would be $11.97 for the week. For snacks and lunch, it would be $14.02 for the week. And then for dinner, it would be $71.97 for the week. With all those totals together, we would have a grand total for 1 week of $97.96 to feed a family of 5. Now, if we wanted to really try to cut back, we could go even further and take out the grilled cheese. That would save us a lot of money. And that kind of thing. Plus, I believe that, like I said, a lot of those meals are going to roll over into another week, and we could actually get 2 weeks out of them. So that would save us costs as well. But for 4 weeks, if we did this exact meal plan for 4 weeks, and that's not rolling over the food, then we could only spend $391.84 for a family of 5 with growing kids, which to me is a really big deal. Now, like I said, we did allow ourselves conveniences like our vegan foods, and that would include our mayonnaise and our butters, which are pretty expensive, because I know that if I just went and got some cheap margarine or something like that, I could spend like $1. But because I want to still do things and have those luxuries, that's why our price is a little higher. Let me break this down for you just a little bit more to give you an even better perspective of what this kind of meal planning looks like. So I told you my totals for a week it would be $97.96, and then if you added that up and did 4 weeks, it'd be $391.84. You're like, well, that's still a ton of money, but that's for a whole month. So let me break it down to where it is per person. You take that $391.84 divided by the 5 people living in this house, and you would get a total of $78.34. So then you would divide that by the 4 weeks, and you get the total of $19.59 per person. That's per week. Now let's look if we divided that down into days. If you divide 19.59 divided by 7 days for each day of the week, then you would, for each person in this household, come up with a total of $2.78 that they are eating on per day. Now that to me is huge savings. To me that is a very, very cheap and expensive meal plan for a family of 5. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did and you're interested in me doing more videos like this, please let me know by giving me a huge thumbs up, subscribing, and commenting down below that you liked this video. I'll see you next time.